It's time for our community spotlight, and today with me is Katie Kogelman from the United Way of Wayne and Holmes County. Again, hello.
Hello, Angie. Yes, thank you so much for having us again. We're just happy to be here.
I would love to catch up and find out what's going on so that the people in your area just kind of know what's available to them. So let's do a quick thing about United Way and what you offer and how people can get in touch with you.
Well, we've been working a lot with the COVID-19 vaccine, helping people in our community who don't have internet access or maybe are technology illiterate to get them registered and scheduled for a COVID-19 vaccine. So at United Way, we've been really busy doing that. You know, normally we have the first line for help wire line that people can call for assistance, but it has been lately mostly utilized for those COVID-19 vaccinations. So that's been a big thing we've been working on. We're working on doing our annual meeting for our donors. So that's a fun planning event for us. And we just finished allocation. So all the money that we raised and hitting goal, we're now giving that and pushing it out to the community. So it's a fun time of year for us.
Oh, yeah. Does it feel like it's getting back to normal at all for you?
I think so. I think the good weather is helping. Like when the sun is shining, people feel more normal because they can go outside and as more and more people get vaccinated, I've noticed just more people walking around town and being out and about. So I'm hoping that this is a good sign and a move in the right direction.
All right. Yeah, I totally agree. Let's hope that's where we're going. Let's talk about the guests that you brought today.
Yeah, so today with me, I have Major Tim and Connie Higgins. They are with the Salvation Army, the Worcester Corps, and they're fairly new to our community, but they are not new to the Salvation Army. And they have been doing a wonderful job so far. We are so happy to have them in our community. Now, how United Way works with the Salvation Army is we fund some of their emergency programs. So the on-site meals, the emergency shelter. But this last year, we've really been working closely with them on COVID-19 relief measures for emergency rent assistance, mortgage assistance, and then also they are one of the partners in the severe weather shelter. So it's been a busy year for them. I think they stepped into a lot of stuff, and I would like them to talk a little bit. And again, it's Major Tim and Connie Higgins.
Thank you, Katie. You're right, we did. We arrived here last August, right in the middle of a COVID pandemic. We moved here from Hartford, Connecticut, which was a unique situation for us. We were excited to come back to Ohio. We lived here years ago when we were first married. We lived here for 24 and a half years down in Southwest Ohio. Never having served in the northern part of the state, so this was all completely new to us. I'm actually from New York State. That's where I was born and raised. My wife is from Coshocton, Ohio, so she's kind of back home. She kind of knows the area a little bit better than I do. But yeah, when we arrived here, we really had to hit the ground running with learning about the Salvation Army in Worcester. As I said, our last 8 years have been in Salvation Army administration at our two regional headquarters. My wife dealing with senior citizens programming and women's ministries. My specialty was finance. So I was, it was a unique time for us for the last 8 years. But coming back to this type of setting was really not only eye-opening because things had changed, since we have been in this type of position, but programmatically, we've walked into a shelter. Neither of us have ever experienced shelter work. When we sort of divide up the duties, I always take on the administrative side. My wife always takes program. And for her, program meant she's the shelter director. And never having done that, she jumped right in. She's learned pretty much everything there is to know about the sheltering program here in Wayne County. And then dealing with COVID, trying to figure out how that works in this community. So yeah, thank you for the welcome, and thank you for working with us and partnering with us.
Connie, what have been some of the biggest surprises for you in this new adventure in operating a shelter? And really, we only have 2 homeless shelters in the whole area, and yours is really the first main one. So what have been some of the biggest surprises for you?
I guess opening our eyes to the homeless population and the needs surrounding the homeless, not only in our regular shelter, but in the severe weather shelter. Um, it's been interesting to get to know some of those individuals and just, find out why they are where they are today. So it's just been a real eye opener to, the lives of those who don't have the resources that we're used to, or can't find the resources that we're used to. So it's been, I mean, it's tiring at times. I mean, thinking, wow, I've never done this before, but it's also rewarding when we see the results, someone finding a place to live, someone getting a job. And that's due to, our staff stepping in and helping them out.
So you have dedicated staff that actually work sort of like case managers for the homeless, because the ultimate goal is for them not to be homeless, right?
Exactly. Yeah. We have a shelter manager. And then we have the other employees in the shelter called shelter supervisors. So on different shifts. We also have our program coordinator for our homeless, or for our drop-in center, the living room. So she is has case management experience. So she works, a lot one-on-one with a lot of the homeless that come into the drop-in center, and she works some with the residents of the shelter to get them resources, get them connected to housing, or helping them just simply getting their IDs or birth certificates, things like that.
What was interesting is our drop-in center director worked for us in the shelter program a few years ago. And then when she left, then we arrived, and we were posting for shelter employees, and she answered the job. And they said, well, she worked for us before, but she would be so much better for the drop-in center. And she has experience not only with the Salvation Army, but with many other agencies here in town. So she really has been able to help people get jobs. Several people have gotten jobs. She's helped them get long-term housing. So she's really doing the things that are really necessary to get people off the streets.
Now, this is a Christian radio station that airs in Worcester. So what type of ministry? I know the Salvation Army is a Christian organization as well. So what type of ministry are you offering to the people in either the long-term shelter or those day on and night shelters?
Well, we definitely, and we haven't been real intentional about doing this as of yet, but we definitely, they're invited to attend our Sunday services if they choose. We're hoping in the near future to hire a ministry coordinator. So maybe that person could then work with the children more intentionally in the shelter, getting them involved in our church side as far as programs and our church Sunday church schedule. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the extent of it. I mean, when we got here, we dove straight into basically the shelter, because nothing else was allowed to happen because of COVID. We couldn't do any other programming. So our focus has been the shelter and just trying to wrap our heads around that and get our staffing. So definitely moving forward, we will be a little more intentional about, kind of getting them connected to the church side. I'm over there a lot, and I know that they know I'm one of the pastors. So many of them are comfortable talking to me about anything. Sometimes a lot. And so it's good to have that and, be one of those resources for them.
So Quan Mail was our youth center or youth programs coordinator, kind of program coordinator. And then we had Susan Kidda, who was the director of our after-school learning center. Both of them left us within 1 week of our arrival in August. So good and bad in that. Bad was that any youth programming that was happening, we stopped over in the learning center. But piggyback onto that, with COVID, we weren't really doing a lot of programming because of it. So a lot of that has shut down. So what we've been able to do in recent days is to merge their jobs together, and are now advertising for a youth ministries coordinator, which will then take on both sides of it. Not so much the way the learning center was, be kind of a hybrid, and looking forward to that, but also really reaching out to the children neighborhood and to the shelter. We're not we're doing before as far as programming. We see this as a need in our community. When we go home at night, we see all these kids running around the neighborhood, and we'd like to have we have a great facility here with a great playground that is, we'd love to open that up to the public. We would love to have those things available and being used. And now that COVID restrictions seems to be loosening up a little bit, I just read a blurb. The CDC now says 3 feet of social distancing is acceptable for school children. So we're excited about that. Yeah, we're really excited about that. So getting that position filled and getting kids back into the building, which is a main focus of the Salvation Army, as well as our other ministries to our adults and seniors in the area. My wife is looking forward to opening up her senior program again and getting those people back into the building. So it really is exciting for us. These are exciting days.
I tell you what, all you have to do is run bingo, because I watched the bingo center locally.
Yeah.
Was just lit up the other day.
Yeah, bingo and offer prizes.
Yep.
They love that. Yeah.
All right. It's been wonderful to hear about your program up there. Do you guys have events that go on occasionally?
What do you mean events? I'm not sure how to answer.
If you have any kind of events that happen at the Salvation Army, or that you're hosting or anything like that, I know that you're getting it back into, but do you normally, well, just keep this in mind that we have a community calendar, and we'd love to be able to help promote things that are going on in and around Worcester and Wayne County and Holmes County and all that.
Would
so
be great.
Yeah. So I want you guys to know that that's something that we provide to organizations, is to be able to promote events. And so I'm looking forward to summertime. I'm looking forward to having people back out and mingling, and hopefully you'll be able to have some of these things going on. So if you have like a big youth kickoff or whatever, let us know. I'd love to be able to promote that.
Oh, great. Yes. We would love to do that.
Before COVID, and Connie and Tim probably don't even know this, we actually collaborated with the Salvation Army to host Bridges Out of Poverty, which is a course that is taught to people really to just look through life in a different lens. And they have often been hosted at the Salvation Army. And that's been a great way to introduce people to poverty, also in a location where they're serving people in poverty every day. So hopefully we'll be able to start that up again, in the fall or next year. And it's a great course for anyone to take, anyone who works with the public at all, or even wonders, why are there homeless people downtown all the time? A great course.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I think homeless people get stereotyped, but there's a lot more homeless people that we don't even realize are homeless out there and just trying to make it. So
we participated this year in the point in time count, and it was eye-opening to us to see. We had hoped that we were actually going to be able to go out with those who were visiting. Unfortunately, we we both had severe colds, so we came down to the building to see them off, and then we went back home to try not to get sicker than we were. But it's eye-opening to us, having served in the city. We know there's a homeless problem, but we've never been so in touch with it as we have since we've come back here. Homelessness and the things that lead people into the homeless situation. It's just been very eye-opening. Both of our children, our daughter is a social worker for the state of Ohio, with the state of Ohio. And she actually has opened our eyes a lot dealing with homelessness in children and children's issues. Our son works for an immigration lawyer in Columbus. So he deals a lot with immigration issues. So he's really kind of opened our eyes to those types of issues that are facing people. So never before have we been so interconnected with the issues that are going on in our community. The homeless, we have a beautiful community. We have a beautiful uptown area. And yes, it's beautiful to see all the people there and the mix of people. But I understand at times the frustration with our community with homeless issues. And we want to be on the team that's helping to take care of that. You know, we know we're not going to end it. It's never going to go away. It's always going to be there. But to get them the help that they need, the maximum help they need.
Fantastic. What a great interview. So much to learn about the area. Thank you, Katie, for inviting these wonderful people
Yeah,
along.
thanks for having us again, Angie, and Connie and Tim. Thank you for all the work you're doing in our community. And I hope everyone gets to enjoy some sunshine.
Yeah.
It's beautiful
Yeah,
out
it's
today.
beautiful today.
I haven't been outside yet, other than to come to the building.
Go
But
outside.
Well, at that point, the feels like temperature was 19 degrees. So, yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
sure what it is now.
But
Anything,
thank
Katie?
you.
Anything, Katie, you got to add about what's going on at United Way? Is there anything that's happening, or you want to let people know how to get a hold of you again?
You can always call our wire line at 330-263-6363. We can connect you to any resources in the community you may need. And we're here ready to help and connect you to amazing programs like those at the Salvation Army. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and I hope you have a great week.
Fantastic. All right. Thanks again, everyone, for your time.
Thanks,
Thank you.
thanks, Angie.
Angie.
Thanks, Katie.